Hello, you malt merchandisers, and thank you to Robert 13131 or 13131 for that malt mention, introducing Ralphie Review 1050, in which this is an extras, and I'm going to give you extra information on ongoing police investigations, which are active, into alleged whisky cask investment scams and misleading information and advice from whisky cask investment companies. This is serious. Now, the chances are, because you know about whisky and I know about whisky, we're not going to get caught up in this. If we're going to buy a barrel of whisky, what we do is simple. We look for a good distillery, we email that distillery and ask if we can buy a barrel of whisky and how much will it cost. That's how you do it. You go direct. However, from particularly out the City of London, there has been a number of companies appear offering whisky cask investment opportunities. Now, in my opinion, I would not buy anything from any of them under any circumstances at all, ever. Right. But that's just my personal opinion. Some of the cask investment companies out there, in my opinion, are honourable and relatively honest, as much as they can be. I'm also aware of that. But there are other cask investment companies that, in my opinion, and it is my opinion, just an opinion, I'm very suspicious about. And you should be too. And it's not just my personal suspicion. I want to just give you an update from Sam. Sam is one of my Patreon subscribers on my Patreon channel, where I have extras and extra content and live streams every month. 2-hour live streams, in which we go deeper into whisky and we cover topics which are a bit more sensitive than what you would generally put out on public release, as I do with this video. But there are times when these subjects overlap. Now, Sam has been getting harassed, and that's the word, harassed, by cask investment companies, cold calling and pestering him, in my opinion, to spend more money on their products and services. This isn't good. He's not alone, but at least he can manage it more successfully than when he first started. One of the problems is that when we do a lot of whisky searches on the computer, that information can be sold on to these companies, because it means that you're interested in whisky above the average, and then suddenly you get called by phone straight out the blue by someone who should not have your private phone number. This is happening as well. So let me give you a further update on this and warn you. It's a warning from the bothy here, from the whisky bothy. Please, maltmates, be very cautious and be very careful, because there are people out there who have lost a huge amount of money and had their lives ruined by scammers. That's a fact. And it continues. And there's not enough said about it. And unfortunately, the whisky industry itself is giving no guidance in this, in my opinion. No guidance, which is deeply unfortunate. And as someone asked me recently, said, "Hey Ralphie, if you sent a report on behalf of the online whisky community, offering advice and direction to the Scotch Whisky Association, and they never even acknowledged receipt of your email, does that mean that there are people in the whisky industry in fairly high positions who are invested or benefiting?" This is a question. It's only a question, are they invested and benefiting from whisky scams? And the fact is, I honestly can't answer that. But what I will say is, I really hope it's not true. I really hope it's not true. Anyway, Sam sent me a link, and I'm going to share it with you. This is a link to the City of London Police, right? And they're asking on their website, and I'll put a link to this down below in the description box so you can see it for yourself. Let's get this a little bit darker so as the background's not so yellowish. Have you been contacted, and I'm quoting here, have you been contacted by Cask Whisky Limited? Cask Whisky Limited is a cask investment company. And under the title of Appeals and Fraud, which are the search references, I quote, "The City of London Police has launched an investigation into a whisky investment company as part of the force's commitment to protect the UK from the threat of fraud and economic crime. The investigation is linked to Cask Whisky Limited, a company which purports to trade in whisky casks, selling directly to clients. Whisky is a growing investment market, with legitimate brokers and resellers operating within the UK. Investors are lured by the potential profits emanating from mature, in brackets, aged whisky. In some cases, people are misled or promised guaranteed or unrealistic returns on their initial investment. This is the same as many forms of investment fraud. However, whisky investment fraud is an area that has grown in recent years. It is essential to understand the market and potential costs before investing. Potential costs include warehousing costs, alcohol duty, potential capital gains tax, bottling costs, and subsequent VAT, which is value added tax, on resale. Detective Inspector Stephen Weller from the Serious Organised Crime Team at the City of London Police said, I quote, "Investment fraud is an incredibly callous form of criminality that can leave victims in financial ruin. Regarding Cask Whisky Limited, we are investigating an allegation of fraud and seeking to establish if any criminality has taken place. If you have made any investments with Cask Whisky Limited or have been contacted by Cask Whisky Limited, we would ask you to submit information to help us build a bigger picture and help our ongoing inquiries. You can submit information by completing a questionnaire on the Major Incident Public Portal, the MIPP, which is linked to this site." Thank you, Sam, for taking me to this site, because you have your opinion, I have my opinion, but this is a detective inspector stating on an official police website that there are investigations ongoing. So please, maltmates, if you're watching, if you have anything to do with this particular company, contact the City of London Police through the link I'm placing in the description box below. And if you know of anybody or have been approached by anybody who has any concerns regarding any investment company, any company at all, which are legitimate and reasonable, please contact the Serious Crime Investigation Office. You can start with the City of London Police, because many of the companies are registered within the City of London. Why do you think that is? Please, think about it. Think about it. It's just unfortunate there are many naive people. And I'm not, by the way, if you can help, please help. If this goes any further, if this gets more serious and more public, it's going to directly impact the reputation of Scotch whisky collectively, because it's a scandal. In the same way that the wine scandal in the 1990s directly affected specifically the French wine industry. It will happen. It's just a matter of time. There's something else that I want to bring your attention to. And it's the Cask Whisky Association. Their website is caskwhiskeyassociation.org, and in bracket /members/. I will put a link to this site in the description box down below. I've been sent a link to this site for a simple reason that the Cask Whisky Association intimated publicly that they had a desire to form a regulating authority to control the process of investing in casks of Scotch single malt whisky and other whiskies. And they state on their website, because I've got a screen image now, which I'll keep in my archive. Under the members, it says a full list of members, presumably of the Cask Whisky Association, will be published after the first members' meeting in early 2024. Right, check the timestamp in this video. It's late 2024. And there is no sign on the Cask Whisky Association of a list of members, as stated on their website, would be published after the first members' meeting in early 2024. Should this be of concern to us? In my opinion, it's not of any concern to me, and anyone that's keeping a level head and sensibility about them, but it should certainly be of concern to the whisky industry. Why? Because of a lack of information, a lack of following up on clearly issued mission statements, which are not being followed through on. And bear in mind, the individuals behind the Whisky Cask Association are also involved in whisky cask investment programs and products. I just don't want you getting scammed. I don't want you getting defrauded. I don't want you to get financially hurt because you're invested in whisky and want to go further with your investments. If you're interested in whisky, a barrel of whisky, as I've said before and repeated recently, you go straight to the distillery and you buy from the distillery directly, and make sure it's a distillery that actually has a reputation, because unfortunately, from where I'm sitting here in the Whisky Bothy, there are a few distilleries which, in my opinion, do not have a credible reputation. And I'll leave it at that. Thanks, Sam.